Okay, I'm talking and saying things to test this out. It says it's on, but I don't think it is. Can the people at home see me? Oh, hi. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for being here.
Testing, testing. There we are. Hi, everybody. How you doing? Ooh, that's weird. It's in the ethers. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity in Naperville. I'm Kitty Benson. I'm the minister here. And I got to say that a lot of times when they advise ministers on how to start a Sunday morning, that you're supposed to do it like, you're just sitting right there. So don't go, good morning, everyone. Sorry, but this is me. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? Hopefully I'm not blowing you out of your couch. But I'm just glad to be able to spend time, whether you're online with us today or you're here in the room with us today. It just feels good to feel your energy. That's one of the things I hear from the folks that are daring to come back in the room, is that the energy is so powerful when you're here with other people. So thanks for bringing it. And I'm going to, And what I feel is your loving energy on the other end of that camera, because I know that you're just as enthused about out of the water. Okay, Spirit, that was funny. And you can just back off just a little, all right? Don't need any electrical difficulties today. Okay, my beloveds, I'll get out of here and just let our beautiful highest good band sing with us this morning. What are we going to sing? Oh, Arise, Shine. This is going to work well with what we're talking about today. So if it feels good to stand as you're able, you can do that. If you'd rather sit. Let's sing though. Pay attention to the words.
Good morning, everyone. Let's sing this together. Out of the dark I come, into the light, into the blazing sun. Eyes open wide, awakening to love's plan. I was born to be the child of I am. Arise, shine, for the light has come. Arise, shine, for the light has come. And the glory of love has risen. The glory of love has risen. good. All that glory. We'll keep on singing and celebrating. Come on, Captain. I will not consider myself any less than who I am. Cut from the finest cloth, I am one lovely man. See here now, I got me the best suit on. Cut from the finest cloth, I am one lovely man. From a perfect God, perfect creation, from a holy one, I've received this revelation. From a perfect God, perfect creation, from a holy one, I've received this revelation. Light up the sky and launch the fireworks. Cut from the finest cloth, I am one lovely man. I kick up my heels, 'cause I know my word. Cut from the finest cloth, I am one lovely man. From a perfect God, perfect creation, from a holy one, I receive this revelation. From a perfect God, perfect creation, from a holy one, I receive this revelation. I will not consider myself any less than who. Let's declare that. I will not consider myself. That's right. Oh, declare with me. I will not consider myself any less than who I am. Let the world know. I will not consider myself any less than who I am. Cut from the finest cloth, I am one lovely man. Cut from the finest cloth, I am one lovely man. Cut from the finest cloth, I am one lovely man.
We got Mark Rio over there just like slamming. Feel that energy. Feel that energy. Yeah, feels good. Feels good. Thanks. Let's just take a moment to bring that life that we feel in this room, just center it in your heart right now. You may want to close your eyes if that feels good as we connect to that power, that presence that fills our bodies, that fills this room, that fills Mark's drums, that fills the universe. God is good. God is good. And we're grateful, Spirit, in this time of communion with each other and with the one divine presence, to know that that power inspires and enlivens us in every moment that we say yes. We say yes. We say yes. Yes, yes. Thank you, God. And so it is. Let's speak this invocation up here on the screen, something we do every week, and it is our Unity's first principle as we're learning. Let's say it together. There's only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Thanks. You may be seated.
since time began. I am. Keep on saying that. I am.
That's a fun one to harmonize on. Yeah, feels good. Yes, Denise Rosier. We love Denise. Thanks, Denise. That's good. Thanks, you guys. Let's give them some love, huh? I was telling the gang here when we were warming up today that yesterday, which was January 29th, was my grandma's 129th birthday, Grandma Nellie. She's not still alive, except on the other side, but she would definitely be in the news today if she were, yeah. And so I was thinking a lot about my growing up years, and it turns out that Grandma and Grandpa Fisher built their house in Peoria, Illinois, with enough property that when their daughter Betty, my mom, got married, that they gave them extra property and they built their house next door. So I was raised with my mom and dad and my grandma right next door. Yeah, so I had lots of parenting going on as I grew up, lots of shoulds and shouldn'ts. This is what you can do, this is what you can't do. My brothers always got to do way more than I got to, which is just a little irritating. But at one point, I got brave, and I married at the age of 20 and moved 2,000 miles away from all that parenting. And in the back of our car, we had a little U-Haul trailer that was filled with wedding gifts. When we got to our new apartment, we started opening all these gifts, and there was like a blender with a manual. And there was a toaster with a manual. There was a mixer with a manual. But as far as I looked throughout those boxes of gifts, there was no manual on how to be a grown-up, how to be an adult. And with all those adults way far away from me now, it was an opportunity for me to learn how to be an adult on my own. That was quite exciting for me, but I was just wishing that there was some kind of manual on how to be an adult to just kind of help us find our place in the universe, you know? How we fit in, how the universe works, how I'm supposed to work with the universe. And it wasn't until I got into Unity that I found out there's kind of a quick start guide for that. And we call it our 5 basic principles. And every once in a while, I get out that manual and I share it with you just in case you're interested in what Unity is about and what our perspective is on how to be an adult in this particular place in the universe. And we started last week talking about the presence and power of God. As a matter of fact, let's look up here one more time at what we say here every Sunday, and just to get it sunk into our subconscious, let's say it together again. There's only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. And we talked last week about that one presence and power, that we are never separate from it. So we cannot be sent to a place called hell because God is everywhere present. And what's important to know is that presence not only fills heaven and earth, but it fills you and I. And when I got to this second principle, I got to say that I had a little trouble with it because the first probably 30 years of my life, I heard a different story about who I was. And this second principle, let's just get it out on the table here. Let's say this one together. Ready? We are each individual, eternal expressions of God, and therefore inherently good. So that took me aback when I first heard that, because I realized that is not what I was taught. The doctrine that I grew up with was very different. As a matter of fact, I think we have the Apostle Paul to thank for this. God bless him. You know, he wrote some good books in the New Testament, but every once in a while I just went, Paul. So let me just share one of those statements from Paul, Romans 5, verse 18. He said, therefore, just as one man's trespass led to condemnation for all, so one man's act of righteousness leads to justification and life for all. So that first man up there, the one man's trespass, do you know who that is? Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Okay, so he trespassed. And then the one man's act of righteousness, who are they talking about? Jesus. The act of crucifixion, atonement, is what, according to this scripture, according to fundamentalist Christians, is that this is our way back to God, is through salvation through Jesus, accepting him as the only Son of God. So now unity comes along with this statement, we're each individual eternal expressions of God, each of us, and therefore inherently good. You can see where I went like, am I going to go to hell for this? And then I thought, wait, principle 1 said there is no hell. Oh, good. All right, so let's just take a look at the story in the Bible, literally, what happened and how we got to this belief about ourselves, thanks to Paul, and then how unity looks at this. Are you up for that? Okay, so here we go. So, you know, in the book of Genesis, they talk about God's creation of Adam and Eve, the first human beings made out of the dust of the ground. And then he took Adam and Eve and he put them in this wonderful garden where they could live and find everything that they might need. And they were given the tree of life to eat from. But the only thing they couldn't partake of was the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And they were having a gay old time in this beautiful place until the serpent came along. And the serpent told Eve about what would happen to her if she would eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And so she kind of took this idea over to Adam, and the two of them decided, hey, yeah, let's try it out. And God found out about it, and they were cast out of the garden forevermore to till the ground, to live by the sweat of their brow. And no longer being able to access that tree of life, that eternal nature, now they're living a mortal life. Okay, so that's the literal story from the book of Genesis. And unity looks at the Bible in a lot of different ways, but rarely literally. It looks at it as some history. It looks at it as a description of God from a human's point of view over the centuries. You can see how their view of God changes. And then we also look at it, what's the M word? Metaphysically, yes. Which means that we look at the people and the places and what's happening in the stories as aspects of our own consciousness. And how can this story of Adam and Eve in the garden be looked at as a metaphor or an allegory to rise up a little bit higher and look at our own self, our own beginnings, and who we might be, and how we are here to express. So, from unity's point of view, when we think of that creation of Adam and Eve, not a literal from the dust of the ground, we think of it as the creation of the divine man, the divine human being. And there's only one of them, that they only need one pattern for this, one spirit of this, and we call it the Christ. This is God individualizing itself. And it turns out that God seeks to express itself in many different ways, so that Christ expresses in many different ways. So imagine before the earth got here and human bodies got here, we are expressing as spiritual beings. You and I are part of God expressing. And think of that nature of spirit that we are as eternal and infinite, an expression of the Christ. So we're in this environment, in this spiritual dimension, where it's pure bliss. It's conscious oneness with God, with each other, because there's really only one of them here. That's God, that's the Christ expressing. And that bliss is what we might tag back to the Garden of Eden, okay? So imagine that the Garden of Eden is a metaphor for when we were just in spirit, in the spiritual dimension. But spirit, the Christ, has a desire to continue to experience itself, to create, to expand, to evolve its own experience of life. And so it finds an opportunity through the evolution of this universe, and we still subscribe to the billions of years that it took this universe to come into being, that at some point, a place called Earth evolved into a place called life and plant life and animals and human bodies, and the human body became sentient. Homo sapien became aware of itself. And I think that's when we probably said, now I can do something with that. That it's got, arms and legs and a brain, and it knows that it's alive and it can make choices. So I think this is when our spirit chose to infiltrate into the physical human being and start to live life in a new way. So what happens when we leave that spiritual dimension is that we enter into a body that has a brain and an ego that acts as a veil, and it immediately shuts off our conscious connection to our spiritual self. So we're still spirit, we're still the Christ expressing, we're still infinite and eternal, but we're in this body that's kind of holding us back through this veil of consciousness. Usually the realm of the subconscious is the one that really gets in our way. And from there, it looks like I'm just a person in a body, and I'm separate from you. I can't read your mind. I don't know what your secret thoughts are, so I need to be careful, because what I'm seeing now with my physical eyes is that people don't take care of each other. They can take things away from you. They can hurt you. They can judge you. And so we start doing that because that's what we're learning with our physical eyes. That's what we're taught from the time that we're little. Our parents say, don't speak to strangers. So it's an opportunity for the human being to start forming this personality that usually looks at life as a threat and separate from itself. And this is where this concept of two powers, that's why we say here to remind ourselves there's only one power, one presence, but our human bodies are acting as a divide, and so we think there's more than one power. There's me, and I'm always good, and you're always bad kind of thing, right? Okay, so something that Charles Fillmore wrote about this consciousness up here on the screen. He said, the mind of humankind is like a clear stream that flows from some lofty mountain. Now, when he's talking about humankind here, unity first refers to humankind as that spirit being that God created, the one Christ presence, which, by the way, we refer to as the only begotten Son. You think it might be the man Jesus, but it's actually the one spirit that is the creator of all spirit, all life, all ideas. And that one spirit is the mind that we're connected to still. But in this first place, before we come into the physical world, the mind of humankind is like a clear stream that flows from some lofty mountain. It has nothing at its point of origin to corrupt or distort it. But as it flows out into the plane of experience, think three-dimensional universe, human body, it meets the obstruction of doubt and fear. It's here that dams are built, and the course is turned in many ways. So we've lost connection to that Christ consciousness, and we're just letting this outer world now dominate our experience. But this is important. You chose to leave Eden. Nobody here was thrown out of Eden. Nobody here leaves the spiritual dimension being forced to do so or to be punished. We as spiritual beings, as the Christ, chose to come into this human experience, into this world of tribulation that Jesus talks about, to have the experience of growth and expansion and creation for the joy of understanding ourselves as spirit in greater and greater ways, remembering ultimately that we are spirit, that we are the Christ identified, and that's what's contributing to expanding the leading edge of consciousness. Now, this is the part we should start getting kind of excited. Your knee should be going. It's like my dogs when they see me come home. Their tails like, all right, so something that Esther Hicks wrote about this. She said, on the screen, she said, you are an extension of non-physical source energy, also known as spirit, okay? And you have come here with great eagerness and purpose. You intended to explore Earth's perfect balance of contrast, think conflict, tribulation, for the purpose of moving life beyond what it has been before. That's our cool reason for being. Exactly. So, we're still we're still spiritual beings, thank God. We're still spiritual beings, but now we're having this human experience, and it's still the one Christ Spirit, the only begotten Son of God, the one Christ Spirit in all of us, as all of us, that is here to have this human experience. Now, this is the question that always begs answering at this point is, If, up here on the screen, one more time, a reminder, if we are each individual eternal expressions of God and therefore inherently good, why do we behave so badly? Right? That's the most common question at this point. So, as I said, when we entered the sense body, which think of as your physical sense consciousness as the serpent, it's whispering in your ear all the time. Look out, be careful, judge, protect, take from, do what you need to do to protect yourself. It's so loud that it's very difficult for us to be aware of the still small voice of the Christ presence within us. But there is a layer of consciousness we call the super consciousness or the Christ consciousness that's trying to point the way out of this. We're still the Christ spirit. There's still only one power. We're one with God. It's just that our subconscious is acting as a barrier to that understanding. And when we talk about sin at this point, yes, we're making mistakes, but what that literally means at the Bible when they talk of it that way is you're aiming, it's an archery term, you're aiming for the target and you miss the mark. So when you wake up in the morning and you've got a long list of things to do, your higher self is saying, let's go create something. And your lower self is going, oh, I feel horrible. Oh, my boss is back from his vacation today. Yeah, so we're missing the mark. That's what's happening. All the while, the Christ within is trying to wake us up. So we struggle. And there's that, kind of pulling back and forth between wanting to do good and not being able to do good. And Paul even had this problem himself, which I think is just karma. Up here on the screen, Romans 7:15, he said, I do not understand my own actions. What's happening? For I do not do what I want, but I do the very thing that I hate. Now, can you guys relate to that? Yeah. Ego, Christ. Ego consciousness, Christ consciousness. And the brain, sadly, is built to protect itself, to survive. But the good news is that there is a way out, a way back to the truth of who we are. Now, think of the subconscious mind as the builder of your life. Pretty much everything you've done in your life has been driven by your subconscious mind. It's the mind that brings up thoughts, that brings up feelings, that brings up beliefs, that brings up habits, that brings up words coming out of our mouth, that inspires us to act. But the builder needs an architect. It can't just build on its own. That's the one good thing, thank God, that the subconscious cannot build on its own. It needs an architect to tell it what to build. Who's the architect? Conscious mind. Our conscious level of awareness. That's the part of you that knows that you're sitting in a chair right now, that you're knowing that you're listening to Kitty. That's the part of you that's like the gatekeeper to the subconscious that can say, no, that thought's not true. I am not holding on to that. And, oh, that's a good one. That sounds like God. That's going in. I'm going to think about that a lot. So right now, if you're feeling like your life is not demonstrating that Christ presence, it's just because the chooser has been asleep on the job and it needs to wake up. This is our chance to wake up and to start allowing new thoughts of God into our head. So again, what Charles Fillmore wrote about this is having developed a consciousness apart from his divine nature, that's the subconscious, man must till the ground from whence he was taken. That is, he must come into the realization of God as the source of his being and must express ideas in harmony with divine mind. So that quote's up there, till the ground from whence he was taken, was like, that's your punishment, Adam. You're going out of the Eden, out into the mortal world, and you're just going to have to till the ground and sweat your brow and rough it out for the rest of your life, for eternity. And he's saying we must till the ground of our being. We must go deep into our consciousness until we hit the mother lode, which is, you are God expressing. Wow, that's a big one, right? You did not come from this spiritual dimension of bliss just to come down here and romp around in this three-dimensional universe feeling helpless and hopeless. This world of tribulation is meant to be met with an open heart and an awareness of God as the power and presence within us so that we can transform those tribulations into something good and watch our spirits evolve in consciousness. And whatever happens in your consciousness, one consciousness spreads out into the universe and hits everybody else's consciousness. That's exciting. Anytime one of us rises up to that higher spiritual dimension, we bring the rest of everyone with us because we're all sharing that one mind. So use these challenges as catalysts for creation, and it's your opportunity to help others rise up with you. Can you get a vision of that? Maybe not yet. Okay, well, let me keep going. So you think that, this thing you've been struggling with, whatever it is in your life, has been going on too long to change now. That's a common lie of the serpent on your shoulder. Basically, your human consciousness saying, you can't change now. But I'm telling you, you get out your spade and start tilling the ground until you remember your true name. What's your true name? I am. And whatever you put on the tag of that, the end of that statement, is who you are. I am that I am. I am that I am. Whatever you want to finish that sentence with, that's your power. So we can dig deep into our spiritual consciousness until we remember I am and begin to use those two words followed by the truth of who you are. Up here on the screen, here's one. I'm awake to my Christ potential. Say that with me. I am awake to my Christ potential. When your body starts to feel weak, helpless, let's remember this one. I'm alive with the life of God. Together, I am alive with the life of God. When supply starts to dwindle in your life, together, I am the prosperous expression of divine substance. That spiritual energy that's infinite in nature, that's what makes our stuff in the world, and it's infinite. So it's remembering who I am, one with the I am presence, that is our life, that is the love in our relationships, that is the substance of the universe that becomes things. There's always enough. We're always enough. You could have lived a life of crime and been in and out of jail your entire life and could still change tomorrow if your conscious mind would choose so. Glory to God. Oh, this is the part where I start to get Pentecostal. Sorry. Choose consciously, my friends, because you have it within you. Now, I know when I just said that you could change tomorrow, even if you've lived a life of crime, that sounds like no way. But I'm telling you, it has to do with choosing thoughts, choosing feelings, choosing beliefs, and holding them in consciousness over and over and over again. But we have to start by believing who we are, the I am presence that just temporarily joined in with this physical body. So this is what Paul was talking about to the Corinthians up here on the screen. He said, to each is given the manifestation of the Spirit for the common good. All these gifts are activated by one and the same Spirit who allots to each one individually. So let's say this together. Up here, I am a gift. Together. I am a gift to the world and in harmony with all humanity. Okay, so I recognize that there's something in you right now that could be resisting that, or you could be thinking about someone else and resisting it for them. But I'm offering you to remember that there is no power working against you. Remember, that's what you learned about God last week. There's no evil power working against you. You're not inherently bad. You weren't born with a sin or a stain on your soul. There's no reason why you can't start thinking new thoughts and becoming a new person tomorrow. The one power is for you. The entire universe is for you. Your place in the universe is to be the infinite potential that you are as your heart leads you. It's just continually choosing again, choosing again, choosing again. So we do the 3 R's, not reading, writing, arithmetic. We do remember, renew, reveal. This is how we start to make the shift from the subconsciousness deep down into the Christ consciousness. To remember, first of all, who I am. I'm a spiritual being. I'm infinite. I'm eternal. I'm creator. There's nothing that stands in my way that can't be created into something else. So this is a chance for us to remember this body has no limitation over what I choose to be in life. My past is gone. There is no past. Really, seriously, where is it? Where is it? There is no past. It's not a thing that has chains. It's just all right here. And in this now moment, it can actually become this now moment. Where are you? Look, you're sitting at Unity. You're sitting watching a Unity message. Is anyone trying to kill you right now? If they are, call 911. But if not, you're safe. You're sound. No one is attacking you. No one's trying to take anything from you in this now moment. This is where change happens. Right now, I am a spirit, a presence of God. And as we remember that, we purposely choose to renew the mind, to think new thoughts, to transform that subconscious mind by repeating the truth of God in you. Every time you think about God as love and how it harmonizes everything in this universe, just meditate on it for a while until you begin to feel harmony with all of life. Renew the mind by telling yourself again that God life is the life in my body, no matter in the middle of this weakness, in the midst of an illness, is the allness of God life. You renew the mind by reminding yourself out loud, write it down, meditate on it, that your finances, when they start to feel like they're dwindling away, you remember that they came out of spiritual energy, which is infinite in nature. And we affirm those ideas to ourselves. We release the old, there is no past, and I welcome this now moment, the fullness of God in my life, as my life. And then finally, we start revealing. We start showing what God is in our lives. That we start to get along more easily with people. That we start to feel more alive in our bodies. That we start to become more generous with what we have. Because we are starting to demonstrate what we're learning, relearning, remembering in our consciousness. I live from the love, first, last, and always, and reveal the Christ within. Can we say that together? I live from love, first, last, and always, and reveal the Christ within. If you don't get anything else from today, that one will take care of it all. I promise you. So let me just share one last thing from Christian Andreessen, who died. And while he was dead, his spirit left the confines of the body and remembered, oh yeah, look at me. I remember, here I am. And then he chose to come back and his body renewed. And then he told us what it was like to be outside the body. So here's what he said. I saw that we were indeed made in the image of God, which is an essence taken from the Creator's own light. It's through this experience we call life in the flesh that helps us to better understand the Creator and develop the inner light by practicing love. Every time you choose to participate in a loving thought, you are manifesting the feeling of heaven on earth. That's pretty easy, right? Just hold a loving thought, and that's what it's like to be in the spiritual dimension. The reason most are so unsure about the place from which we all came is because we've forgotten to love ourselves or one another enough. Once we learn how to love enough and keep this love perpetual, we will build up a tremendous inner light. And this light will be used to help us see glimpses into heaven. Bring heaven to earth. That's our opportunity. So, first of all, I want to invite you, we'll remind you again later, that we're going to talk about what I talked about last week, the nature of God, and how we might experience the nature of God in a discussion this week, Tuesday night at 7, and then I'll repeat it Saturday morning at 9:30 online to give us a chance to talk back and forth about whatabouts. I'm sure I'm going to have all the answers about God that you could ever want to know. But at least it'll give us a chance to ask our questions, to argue, to debate, to think about, to expand. We're going to start with this, and then we're going to keep doing these principles in discussion like every couple of weeks, okay? So this coming week, we'll talk about God. Tuesday at 7. Just go to our Unity calendar at our website, unityinnaperville.org, for the time and how to get into the room. Okay? But right now in meditation, what I'd like to do, I'm going to ask Kim Char, I'm going to ask Mark to come up, and let's take this, what we go through in meditation now, as just an example of how we remember, renew, and reveal the truth of how our being is. Okay? You with me? This was a lot, right? It was a lot. Yeah. So take what works for you today and set the rest on a shelf, and maybe someday you'll come back to and go, oh, now I get it. Or, oh, now that feels right. So there's no rush in this. You're in charge. You're the chooser. You're the gatekeeper. Okay, so let's take a moment to just close your eyes. I'm now waiting on the spirit within me, knowing that this spirit is as close as my breath. We breathe that spirit through us. It is my very soul. I believe this spirit lives through me. This spirit governs my life in harmony and peace. I know this spirit is my joy. And this joy flows through me and to everyone I meet. I choose this joy. I choose to allow Spirit to bless me and everyone through me. God's thoughts are my thoughts. And with my faith, I choose to lift my mind to know that Spirit of God within me. I choose to know that this Spirit is my real self. I open my mind and awaken to my true spirit identity. I'm open to divine thoughts. And these loving thoughts guide me to loving action. Expressing uniquely as me. God mind inspires me with new ideas and opens my imagination to new possibilities. God life strengthens me with vitality and renewal. God love embraces my heart with unconditional acceptance affirming the good in all that I meet. Open the door to new experiences and allow this divine presence to make itself known, to make its power known, to reveal my highest potential in this situation. And with everyone I meet, I reflect God's peace. I reflect God's light, God's joy, that we all may know the goodness of God that we are. In me, through me, as me, God is expressing. This is the truth of my being. And now I let it be. Amen. I hope you'll join me Tuesday night at 7, Saturday at 9:30. Let's talk more about this quick start guide, starting with the big one. This is a time in our service where we express God through our gifts, through our tithes and offerings, and just another opportunity to let God's abundant good flow through our lives, to be an expression of the divine substance that's everywhere in this universe that we form and fashion with our faith and imagination. And if you'd like to give today online, you can do it online as well, and that is through our website at unityinnaperville.org. There's a donate button there. There's one on the Facebook page, and there's also a P.O. box you can mail a check to, P.O. Box 9733 in Naperville, 60567. And as we give, please open your heart to give with a wide open energy of love, because that is what frees the good that you're giving to actually continue moving, keep moving, harmonizing, and attracting good back into your life. Let's bless it together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am grateful. Thank you. Ushers, will you come, please?
I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I am light, I inside. I am light. I am light. I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. I am light. I invite you to sing that with me. I am light. And I am light. 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 And I am divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light, all light. Yeah, all light. Sing that again. And I am light. 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 And sing it one more time. I am light. I am light.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Liz, and I'm going to share the announcements with you. Hi. Oh, geez. I actually get to take the mask off. Thank you. Hi. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. We're glad you're here. Yeah, we've got lots of people here. If you have questions or want to receive weekly updates every Tuesday morning, sign up for weekly e-news at unityinnaperville.org or email admin@unityinnaperville.org. And now for what's happening at Unity. Will the Board of Trustees please stand? Awesome. Thank you. So if you have any questions and would like to know more about what's happening at Unity, they're available and would love to talk with you after the service. If you were born in February, let us help celebrate your birthday. Please forward a photo along with your name and birthday by Thursday, and we'll sing to you next Sunday. Email photo and information to admin@unityinnaperville.org. Join the weekly Monday morning metaphysics book study group tomorrow, 10:30 to noon on Zoom. For more information, see the event calendar. Little plug for that one. The event team meets tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. on Zoom. If you have an idea for an event or would like to join the meeting, email admin@unityinnaperville.org. Join Reverend Kitty tomorrow at 7 p.m. for the second meeting of the new online grief support group. The group will meet every Monday night in February. If you can't make the meeting but want to know about future meetings or have suggestions for the group, email revkitty@unityinnaperville.org. See the event calendar on our website to access the grief support group. Join Energy of Spirit on Zoom Tuesday at 7 p.m. Have fun and learn easy, non-strenuous techniques to improve your overall energy, hormone, and metabolic functions, mental clarity, sleep, and mood. Love offering $10, please. For details, see our event calendar at unityinnaperville.org. Thursday is the last day to register for the Vision Board Workshop, which is held Saturday, 9:30 to 12:30. Deb DeSandro will lead the workshop on Zoom. Magazines are available in the front room for you to take home and find images. Love offering $20. See the event calendar for more info. Okay, so now join Reverend Kitty online Tuesday, February 8th, which isn't this Tuesday, but the next Tuesday at 7 p.m. She's so excited that she got ahead of herself a little bit. So it's actually next Tuesday, February 8th at 7 p.m. or Saturday, February 12th at 9:30 in the morning for My Place in the Universe, the first in a series of in-depth discussions on Unity's 5 basic principles. For details, see our event calendar at unityinnaperville.org. Last thing, prayer chaplains are available to pray with you in the meditation room after the service, or email your name and phone number to prayer@unityinnaperville.org, and a prayer chaplain will call you today by 1 p.m. For details on all of our events, go to unityinnaperville.org. Thank you so much.
So we'll do a closing song. I invite you to stand as you're able, sing along. Go ahead, Kim. Oh, we celebrate. Go forth in that glorious individualized expression of divine, knowing God is your source. Here we go. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything. Oh, joy, joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything. Oh, God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything. Thank you, God. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything. Oh, yes, everything that I need.
And you can literally feel it, right? Yeah, you're getting it now, getting it now. So here's our closing affirmation just to let it sink in a little bit more deeply. And so apologize. Hey, pay attention. It's not this Tuesday and not this Saturday. It's the following week, February 8th and whatever that Saturday is. Check the calendar. Hope to see you then. Okay? All right. Let's say this together. We are each individual, eternal expressions of God, and therefore inherently good. Mwah! Have a great week, you beautiful beings.
Out of the dark I come. Into the light, into the blazing sun. Eyes open wide, awakening to love. everybody.